Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Shrikant Lanka. I'm the Director for Emerging Technologies, Government of Telangana. And on behalf of Government of Telangana and NITI Aayog, I extend a warm welcome to all of you, to all the dignitaries, the researchers, industry leaders, members of the quantum community. Today is a special milestone which marks the release of the National Roadmap for Transforming India into a Leading Quantum Powered Economy, as well as launch of the Telangana Quantum Strategy. This is aligned with the strategic vision of the country to become a leading quantum powered economy, as well as Telangana's ambition to be a $3 trillion economy, unlocking the next era of scientific innovation and industrial advancement. It's our honor that we have with us our Deputy CM Madhu Bhatti Vikramarka sir, our IT Minister Sri Sridhar Babu sir, NITI Aayog member Sri Saraswat sir, NITI Aayog CEO Subramaniam sir, Devjani ma'am and Sanjay sir. To begin this auspicious occasion, I request all the dignitaries to kindly join us for a traditional lighting of the lamp. We also request Director of Triple IT Sandeep sir to join on for the lighting of the lamp, please. To officially open the day's proceedings, I invite a distinguished IAS officer from the 1995 batch, currently serving as the Special Chief Secretary for Industries and Commerce, Information Technology, Electronics and Communication in the Government of Telangana. Known for his strategic leadership and commitment to fostering innovation, he has been instrumental in positioning Telangana as a global hub for industry and technology. An alumnus of IIT Roorkee and Delhi, he also holds a master's in public policy from the London School of Economics. I invite Shri Sanjay Kumar sir, Special Chief Secretary ITEC, to deliver the welcome address.
Honorable Deputy Chief Minister Shri Bhatti Vikramarka Garu, Honorable Minister for IT and Industry Shri Sridhar Babu Garu, Member NITI Aayog Saraswat sir, CEO NITI Aayog Subramaniam sir, Devjani Ghosh Garu, Distinguished Fellow, Director Triple IT, Registrar, distinguished audience, a very good morning to all of you. Well, at the outset, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to CEO NITI Aayog sir for choosing Hyderabad to launch the National Quantum Mission and agreeing to partner with Telangana in this journey. Actually, this reaffirms our Hyderabad's position as India's deep tech capital and its growing credibility in research, innovation, and frontier technologies. And it's my privilege to welcome all of you on behalf of the state of Telangana. In fact, if you look at the historical perspective of quantum, we all owe it to Albert Einstein, but fact of the matter is that he never accepted quantum mechanics as such. His famous statement that God doesn't play dice reflects that. And his discussions with Niels Bohr reaffirmed that. And most interesting part is that when he got Nobel Prize in 1905 in the field of photoelectricity, that happens to be one of the cornerstones of quantum mechanics. After that, we have come a long way. We have made a lot of inventions, a lot of discoveries. When it comes to quantum, to my mind, we are at the stage where artificial intelligence was in the 1950s. At that time, it was part of the textbooks. It was people were discussing and papers were written. But with the advent, over a period of time, with the advent of modern materials and compute facility, it's all for us to see that how much difference it's going to make to our lives. In fact, it's just a starting point, and I think that everybody on the globe has started feeling the impact. So to my mind, quantum right now is the stage where we need to invest, we need to collaborate. Everybody need to collaborate. Now, if you really look at that, there is a lot of investment across the globe is going on in the field of quantum. And reality is that they are not doing it for today. It's basically a race to become the global technology leader. And in this context, it's a very welcome thing that NITI Aayog has prepared a futuristic quantum mission framework, which is going to shape our destiny in the field of leadership in technology leadership in the times to come. When it comes to Telangana, we have always believed that it's not just a tool, rather it is a bridge to exciting opportunities. Over the last 3 decades, Telangana has built India's most vibrant startup ecosystem, where bright ideas find the support of the government and infrastructure to become global solutions. Today we are standing at the threshold of transformation that will define our future in the fields of computing, cybersecurity, and scientific discovery. In the quantum era, in fact, we can call it a quantum era. UN also has rightly said that this 2025 will be an international year of quantum science. We all know that quantum technologies in future is going to lock unprecedented opportunities. It will accelerate innovation in the areas of secure communication, drug discovery, precision healthcare, financial optimization, and national security. The nations that invest early are going to lead the world in this field. This is exactly why Telangana has taken a pioneering step in launching our dedicated quantum strategy today. In fact, we'll be the first state to do it in the country. This is in line with the national vision of the National Quantum Mission, which is going to be unveiled today. At the same time, it is in line with our Telangana Rising vision, which we are going to unveil on 9th of December. The national roadmap outlined by NITI Aayog targets basically a number of steps have been suggested, and I'll just cover a couple of them. The most important to my mind is the incubation of globally competitive startups and capacity building in quantum technologies, setting up quantum thematic labs. The bottom line is that quantum is not just a scientific revolution. It is going to become the driver of economic growth, global leadership, and strategic autonomy for Viksit Bharat. We wholeheartedly commend the efforts of NITI Aayog in setting a bold direction that will shape India's technological leadership in the times to come. When it comes to our Telangana strategy, there are mainly 6 pillars what we have worked on that. First one is research and innovation and collaboration with mainly 3 pillars: academia, research institutions, and industry partners. Skilling and making our workforce future ready for that, that is the second important aspect. Enabling the startup ecosystem in the field of quantum technologies. Adopting into various sectors where we can find the solutions of the problems which citizens face in their day-to-day lives. Cyber security is one of the important pillars for that. And global positioning. In fact, I would like to mention that the way I just mentioned about artificial intelligence. So, artificial intelligence we have done in the last around 15-20 years, a lot of work. Now we are on the path to create the country's largest AI hub. That also is based on collaboration with global institutions. When I say global, I mean I include Ivy League institutions also. At the same time, collaboration with the globally renowned AI hubs, and of course training our workforce here to make them future ready. Similarly, I feel that in quantum field we are going to start a journey where it will help Telangana to become the leader in the country in the field of quantum technologies. With these words, I again thank NITI Aayog and appreciate everybody here who is listening to us. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your kind words. It's now my privilege to invite a distinguished national leader who has played a pivotal role in shaping India's digital transformation narrative and the country's emerging technology policies. Ms. Devyani Ghosh is a distinguished fellow at NITI Aayog and one of India's most influential voices in tech, innovation, and digital economy. She is a former president of NASSCOM, where she spearheaded India's transition into a global hub for emerging technologies. A strong advocate for responsible and human-centric technology, Devyani ma'am continues to guide India's strategic direction in the adoption of frontier technologies across sectors. Please welcome Ms. Devyani Ghosh.
Thank you very much, Shrikant. Respected Deputy Chief Minister, IT Minister, Dr. Saraswat, Mr. Subramaniam, and Sanjay ji, and all our wonderful guests who have turned up. It's wonderful to see the kind of interest in quantum in India and how much it's growing, so it's really fantastic. I have a very short presentation, and if we can have the presentation now, please, to talk about, before we even get to quantum and what's happening in quantum, can we understand what's happening with technology overall in India, across the world, and what does it mean for India? And that, by the way, is the role of the NITI Frontier Tech Hub. The NITI Frontier Tech Hub, which has been set up in NITI Aayog, our job one is to understand how is technology evolving, where is it going, what's going to happen with AI, what are the next big shifts, what do they mean, how do you unpack this, what do they mean? And what does it mean? What impact will they create for India, good and bad? Opportunities and risks. And usually when you understand a big tech shift, it takes a country at least 10 years to prepare for it. So we want to do it today to understand in the next 10 years what are those big tech shifts so that we can prepare for it from now, so that we put India in a position to lead in these disruptive shifts by 2035, by end of the decade, and make India truly what we call a frontier tech nation. Because that is going to be the make or break. That is going to determine whether India does become a developed nation, Viksit Bharat, by 2047 or not. Frontier technologies are going to be the key to enabling Viksit Bharat. So before I get into quantum, I'm going to take 1 minute, 2 minutes to talk about what are these mega technology shifts that we are seeing today. This is what we do, by the way, at the Frontier Tech Hub. We spend most of our time trying to understand what's coming. And if you look at the mega technology shifts, there are 3 key ones. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on, but if I break it all down, if I break down the problem and I try and understand at the core of it, what is driving the change, there are 3 big shifts. First, the cognitive revolution. The cognitive revolution is basically the evolution of intelligence. You have artificial today, it's becoming more and more autonomous, and I think we are already in the agentic era, but early days, but we are definitely going to see an explosion in agentic AI. It's going to move to artificial super intelligence. I think that's well within the next 5 years that's going to happen. And ultimately what everyone talks about, AGI, which I'm not a very big fan of, but we know that it's going to be coming. But when? I don't think anyone really knows when. And to me, AGI will happen when AI, assuming, let's take an AI model that has not been trained on gravity. We have not trained it on gravity. We have not taught what gravity is. And you keep feeding in data about an apple falling. Will the AI be able to come out with the law of gravity or not? Absolutely not today. And that's the difference between humans and AI in my mind. AI still cannot do what Isaac Newton did when the apple fell on his head. And to me, until we get to that stage, I don't think we can talk about AGI, or we can say that AGI is a reality, right? So that's how we look at the evolution of cognitive powers. Then comes the entire frontier tech revolution, which is about science and technology coming together. And I think this revolution is going to be the most disruptive one in terms of impact. Imagine the power of AI and biology coming together to create programmable biology, where just as you can write codes today, you can code your DNA. Now imagine what that does in terms of opportunities as well as risks. Imagine AI and physics or AI and chemistry coming together to completely redefine material science, which will impact every single industry. So that's sort of the power of frontier technologies, and this is something that we are obsessed about and we're studying very deeply because we think this is going to be tremendously disruptive for India. And then you have the compute revolution, where we see 2 key things happening. One, compute getting decentralized. Compute moving out from centralized spaces to going to where the data exists. If the data exists on your fingertips, compute will exist on your fingertips. If the data exists in your DNA, very soon, I think, compute will be existing in your DNA, or the power to compute. So we are going to move towards a world of omni-compute, in the next decade. And that gets powered 100x with quantum. With quantum coming in, but quantum, what we see is this decade is going to be about quantum moving towards applied phase. But we were just discussing this in a roundtable this morning. It's not either or. It's not classic computing or quantum computing. Both are going to exist, but quantum computing will exist in those really high breakthrough use cases, whether it is drug development or weather forecast, disaster management, etc., right? So these are the 3 big revolutions: cognitive, frontier tech, and compute, which we believe is going to disrupt everything. But the biggest disruption is going to be on what we call global superpowers or technopolitics. I think the biggest disruption is going to be the geopolitical landscape, where the control of supply chains in each of these areas, who controls AI supply chain, who controls rare minerals, who controls biotech, the control of supply chains is going to decide which country will have the higher negotiation power when it comes to trade, when it comes to politics. And I think this is going to be one of the biggest impact of technologies. It's going to completely disrupt what we call tech diplomacy or tech politics. And that's the job of NITI Frontier Tech Hub. Understanding these shifts and then trying to figure out what is the impact of these shifts on four things: the citizens, jobs, education. We've just published a roadmap on how the AI, just AI, forget about anything else, how just productivity gains from AI is going to completely disrupt the job landscape in India. And it is a given, we cannot wish it away. Right? It is going to disrupt the job landscape. We then look at what is going to be the disruption on industry. How is manufacturing going to change? How is agri going to change, etc., etc. What is the disruption on government? National security. Huge disruption coming our way. What is the disruption on how governments govern? And then last and not the least, as I talked about it, tech diplomacy, and what's the new world of tech diplomacy and what does it mean for India? The opportunity landscape, when you look at this, it's endless. There is no single industry that we can say is not touched or won't be disrupted. Everything we think about will get disrupted. And just as the opportunities grow, the risks grow. In fact, the risk landscape for India, it looks very different from what it did a few years ago. Our biggest risk is not your computer getting hacked anymore. Our biggest risk is our power grids getting hacked. Our biggest risk is our digital infrastructure getting hacked. Our biggest risk is cognitive warfare. What happens when people play with minds? Right? Our biggest risk in the coming years is going to be biowarfare. So the nature of risks, the nature of what we think about when we talk about risks is completely changing. Our biggest risk is also silos within India that stops us from getting the maximum impact out of our technology strategies and plans. Our biggest risk also is that we don't have full control of these critical supply chains or the lacking talent. This is the risk landscape, and it's something we really take into account as we are thinking through the roadmaps. So what does all this knowledge do? This results in what we are building out 10-year roadmaps. And if you go to the NITI Aayog website, look for Frontier Tech Hub, and within that, all of this is available for you to download. But every piece of work we are doing. But we have now looked at what is going to be the impact on economic growth. And as economies grow, we can't forget the grassroots. There's a huge 490 million informal workforce sector, 90% of our workforce. Who thinks about AI for that sector? Nobody. And unless we think about that, how is Viksit Bharat going to happen with such a large population being left out? So we've come out with a roadmap to cover that sector. We've looked at manufacturing. We've come out with the agri roadmap. We've come out with the jobs roadmap. And today, we're really thrilled to come out with the 10-year quantum roadmap. We have the quantum mission, which got launched in India, has really set a very strong foundation for India, if we get our act together, not to play catch-up, but to leapfrog into a leadership position in quantum. Now what we do today and in the next few years is going to determine whether we achieve that leadership position or not. And this roadmap, which we are launching today, tells us what are those priorities we need to focus on. And this work that we do is not possible without the best minds in India. Every work stream that we create, every project that we create, has a group of experts who are some of the best names in that sector, in that domain, working with us to keep us grounded on reality and ensuring that the work that we are coming out with, the recommendations that we are coming out with, are really actionable. And I'm truly grateful to the fantastic expert council that we have, and to the partners that we've worked with. Amit Singhi, who's here and will be presenting shortly. I don't know how many nights he has spent working on this report, but he has been an amazing partner. And this is not a point of view of Amit, me, or any company. We have done extensive consultations across the ecosystem to ensure that this roadmap reflects the 360 point of view of the overall ecosystem about where quantum is going. So really looking forward to your feedback. You will get the copy of the report or download the copy of the report. Please spend time to go through it. This is so important, and do give us feedback. But thank you again for having us here, and we're really happy to be launching this in Telangana, because this is a state that, you know, I've had long working technology relationship with Telangana from my NASCOM days. And I think this is a state that has always challenged status quo when it came to tech and disrupted the playbook. And I think if we want to lead, we have to do exactly that. We have to disrupt the playbook. We have to create the rules. So I'm really looking forward to working with the state of Telangana to figure out how we can take this forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. We now move to the technical presentation on the findings and recommendations of the National Quantum Roadmap by Amit Singhi. Amit Singhi is a director of IBM Research India and Chief Technology Officer of IBM India South Asia. He sets the strategy for forward-looking innovation across hybrid cloud, AI, quantum, cybersecurity, and sustainability. He holds a PhD from Carnegie Mellon and is an alumnus of IIT Kharagpur. Please welcome Dr. Amit Singhi.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here at IIT Hyderabad. You know, we've had a long relationship as an institution and also personally. I was here a couple of years ago, the 25-year anniversary, so it's great to be here for this important milestone. And thank you to all the distinguished guests and the audience here. I have a presentation, if that can be brought up, then I'll give a summary of what's inside the report. You should definitely find it online, download it and read it. Like Ms. Devjani said, there's a lot of great input from the expert council. Also, we did many consultations beyond that with subject matter experts across startups, academia, industry, government, and all of that is consolidated into the report. I want to thank my partners in crime. I think some of them are here. Chandrika Dutt from Avasant, Daya Sindhu from Itihasa, and Shesha Shahi also from IBM, and several others who worked actually with me. It was not just me on the night oil, but them too. With that, let me go forward. What we did first is we tried to envision the state of quantum technology 10 years from now, saying that 2035 is a very good milestone to think about because that will set the stage of where we can go beyond to 2047. And if we envision where quantum will be globally and try to align with that where India can be and how can India build opportunities with respect to that state of technology, that gives us a good grounding. And so we looked at these four verticals. Quantum sensing, we expect that there will be applications of quantum testing deployed across sectors such as defense, oil and gas. In quantum computing, we expect algorithms that have advantage and working with classical, with quantum centering computing, with systems that have more than 100,000 qubits. In quantum communication, we expect QKD-based systems deployed in early production. And we also expect in quantum materials and devices, a variety of different devices and materials being used broadly, whether it's single photon detectors and sources and other kinds of things. So this is not just an India statement, this is a technology vector statement, right, based on all the things we heard from the experts. When we looked at this, we felt that we had to analyze the domain in two dimensions. One is the stack. You know, to make this technology happen, what are all the parts of the technology stack that have to come together to get to this point in 2035? And this was a great view of the technology stack that talks about the hardware layer, including materials and devices, the supporting non-quantum hardware, and also the quantum and classical software that brings that hardware alive. On top of that, you have the providers who package this hardware and software into consumable products, whether those are cloud services, quantum computers, algorithms, and so on. And then at the top, you have the users, the applications, and the consumers where the value gets created at the end of the day. And it's important for us to understand the stack and extremely important for India to have control points at every layer of the stack. That's why this is important, because If you have a hard dependency and you're missing at any of the layers, that means you're susceptible to any shocks in the system. And it'll be difficult for us to scale up. We also looked at it horizontally in terms of the value chain. The stack is how the tech comes together, value chain is how the value flows, all the way from technology providers to hardware to algorithms, applications, and use cases, and the surrounding ecosystem, either the IP ecosystem, regulatory ecosystem that supports it. And if you look at this picture, there are areas where we have a good start, where you see some yellows and greens, thanks to work that's been going on and the additional impetus provided by the National Quantum System. But there are many areas which are in red, where we really need to accelerate. And we must establish presence in all parts of this value chain. We need to have providers and participants, both creators and users, in all parts of this value chain very rapidly to develop an economy around this. One very important thing we dive deeper into is the material supply chain. It's a piece of the value chain, but it's a really important control point, especially in today's geopolitics. This is just a view of it, where you can see how for many different downstream quantum technologies, what are the different kinds of elements and materials needed for it, what are the primary countries where most of the supply or refinement comes from, and what are the alternatives. So this really tells us that we need to become one of those countries, at least in some of those areas, by developing our own indigenous capacity of mining and refining, and we need to establish resilient trade frameworks that allow us to have a consistent supply where we don't have that presence. So with all of this, we did a strength, weakness, opportunities and threat analysis, a SWOT analysis, to say, okay, where are our strengths as a nation today? We have a lot of strengths in our human capital, in our strong institutions, in some of the work that started to happen with states coming in and the NQM. There's a lot of opportunity. This is an area, an entire economy that is yet to be formed. It's in early days. We're definitely not late to the game in any serious way. So, can you just go back? I just want to make a couple of points. But where we focused a lot also are on the weaknesses, because that's really what the roadmap is about. Try and say, how do we address those weaknesses and overcome those? We can go forward. With all of this, we try to envision what would be our major milestones. We call it endpoints in 2035 for India's quantum economy. And there are four major things, four major areas. One is around startups and how much of the market we can capture. So we think we can have 10 globally champion quantum startups out of India with over $100 million worth of cumulative revenue, if we are aggressive, if we execute on this roadmap immediately. And we can capture 50% of the software and services value in quantum. Second, we think we need to become Atmanirbhar in quantum by having control points in the global supply chain that we control. Third, we need to see quantum tech deployed at scale in India in at least 3 different sectors, including strategic sector. That local market has to exist. It cannot just be dependent on global markets. That's where the innovation supply chain and the scaling will really come from. And then finally, we need to become a hub for scientific breakthroughs, because that is the source. Quantum is not a mature tech where you can just build apps and scale out. You actually have to own the source of the scientific breakthroughs. And we need to become a hub for that. Now, the National Quantum Mission gives us a great foundation on all of this. This report is really about what else do we need to arrive at those endpoints and the roadmap towards that. Now, we looked at this and we said, okay, we have some strengths, but we have some things that are restricting us. We call these unlocks that are needed. And I'll give you a few examples as I call out these unlocks. The first one is around skills. If you look at some of the data here, India actually has the second largest user base using quantum computers today. Right? So that's really exciting. That shows the potential that is there in our youth, in our engineers, in our learners and our teachers. But if you look at how much of quantum computing time they are using, we fall down to 11th. That shows that there's something restricting that potential, right? That's an area we have to unlock. Second is around the industry readiness. do our companies, the large companies that are not quantum, not technology companies, understand what quantum is about, how to use it, how to develop their business towards that? Today we are not there. If you see, we are actually fifth in the number of startups that we have in the country, which is not bad. But if you see the private investment going into this area, we fall down to 15. Again, shows the potential that's there, but we need to unlock something. Third, very important is ease of doing science and taking from lab to market. We have some great scientists in the country, we have some great R&D centers. And you can see that we have gone up in the Global Innovation Index by 27 points in just 6 years. But that's not enough, because when you look at ease of doing science, we are way behind what foreign nations are ranked at. Right? Again, there's an unlock needed here. And then finally, in terms of the business and trade environment, while we are engaged in a lot of standard settings, we have a long way to go in terms of making sure that the startups want to be here and want to keep IP in India. So this is a sampling of some of the unlocks. There's a lot of detail in the report. Sorry, I went ahead a bit. So finally, on the recommendations, one thing the report recommends is to really double down on some strategic areas. I think we should, the report says we should attack everything, but it's important to prioritize a few strategic areas. There are a few called out here: health and pharmaceuticals, financial services, peripherals is a very important area for near-term opportunity, logistics. And then there are 7 very specific recommendations along with specific actions, and under each of those recommendations, you can find it in the report. These are the 7 recommendations. The first one is around growing a workforce, people, substantially by an order of magnitude in the next 2-3 years across science, engineering, and techno-business skills. The second is to really increase industry's awareness and investment in this space, making them co-developers along with the researchers. The third is improving this ease of doing research and accelerating lab to market in India. And the fourth, which is really important but it's kind of subtle, is building more risk-taking mindset in our funding agencies and in our research institutions, making it easier to really go after risky projects and reward people who actually step out of their comfort zone and try to do risk-taking. The fifth one is making Indian domicile very attractive to startups. We should be seeing more than 90% of our deep tech startups wanting to domicile and actually domiciling in India rather than elsewhere, so that the IP stays here. That's a target we really need to shoot for. We need to engage with global standards bodies. I found in the study that we do that. However, there's a need to take leadership, to really be a lot more proactive, make sure industry and startups are also represented in those standards conversations, so that the products that get developed in India have very good market access at the end of the day. And then very important is to ensure strong trade relations, which are resilient to all of the dynamic things that happen today, so that for the long term we have an ability to be resilient as far as the supply chain and the market access goes. So that completes it. I want to just flash this one slide at the end, acknowledging all the people who provided additional input and the task force that worked on this report. Thank you.
Thank you for that insightful message. We now invite our in-person expert speaker, Dr. Kasturi Saha, Associate Professor, IIT Bombay. She leads the QVET Foundation in Quantum Sensing, Imaging and Meteorology under the National Quantum Mission. A Cornell PhD, she has contributed to the advancement in nonlinear optics and quantum sensing and has undertaken postdoctoral work at MIT. Her recognitions include the INSA Associate Fellowship, the DST Inspires Fellowship, and many others. Please welcome Dr. Kasturi Saha.
So very good afternoon everyone, and thank you very much Debjani for this fantastic opportunity to really shape how our nation will grow, and as we grow together, how we will contribute and make a mark in a global scale. As the project director of the National Quantum Mission's Quantum Sensing and Metrology Hub, I can only say we have just taken the very initial steps in the development of quantum sensing and metrology technologies. What we are now looking to do in the next couple of years is really to work with various different end users to customize our products, which are going to make it to be field deployable. That is what we are looking at. And just to give you a few examples, we are actually working with atomic magnetometers, we are working with NV center based magnetometers, as well as quantum imagers. These are the three main technologies that we are currently focusing on. We will be soon focusing also on various other quantum sensing technologies, which we want to make them to be field deployable. Now, for this, we really want to work with a whole bunch of end users, and your partnership, your enthusiasm into making this happen is important and key for our success. What we also need is what has been highlighted many times through this report is upskilling and skilling for development of these technologies, and also as an end user to be able to effectively use these technologies. So therefore, at a very large scale level, we need really a lot of emphasis and inputs from all various sectors to participate and help us grow this entire ecosystem. Another point I want to make is really what we touched upon is the peripheral technologies. Now, entire quantum technology sector, whether it's computing or sensing or communications or even materials, really hinges upon the fact that we have a lot of classical peripheral technologies. Therefore, we must pay attention to those peripheral technologies. Control electronics is one of the very important things that we have to focus on. Optics, optomechanics, this is something that is readily doable. Why can't we do it as a country? Therefore, it is important that all the private sector parties who are already small companies who are working on these small components, please put your hands together and really come forward and help us build this technology, because at the end of the day, if we have to succeed in quantum technologies, we must have all the other components as well, part of it developed indigenously, including the materials and devices that will really play a key role in our quantum technologies. So I won't take much time, but just to really sort of sum it up, it has been a great experience to work with your entire team, Devjani, and hoping to see some of the important, many of the things that has been laid out as the 7-point agenda, that if I may say that that we take it forward, really percolate down to the ground level and we see them implemented. I think that is what is going to get us to that success. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. We now have a few, two small videos of distinguished experts who had shared their inputs into the National Quantum Mission. Can you please play them?
Pleasure and privilege to be part of this milestone moment in India's bold journey to become a leading quantum economy. While I'm unable to be with you today, I'm grateful for the opportunity to speak with you and share my thoughts as you take this defining step forward. Today, I speak as a member of the Expert Council for the Roadmaps Report on India's Quantum Economy. Congratulations to NITI Aayog for publishing this visionary and actionable roadmap. I'd also like to compliment the task force for their dedication in making the roadmap a reality. This report clearly explains the global quantum trajectory of quantum technologies and outlines what ambitious yet achievable goals India can target for 2035. It offers a comprehensive view of the full quantum technology stack and the broader value chain, highlighting India's existing strong capabilities while also identifying areas that require deeper focus. Quantum computing is at an exciting inflection point. Algorithm breakthroughs will soon lead to early demonstrations of quantum advantage, and while hardware systems will continue to advance towards fault-tolerant quantum computing. This report captures these upcoming transitions. The report shows, backed by evidence, how India is strongly positioned with a significant user base, robust investments through the National Quantum Mission, and a solid scientific foundation. It also highlights the unlocks that are needed for India to emerge as a true powerhouse in quantum computing and its application. India has a distinct advantage given its strengths in mathematics, computer science, and software engineering to not only pioneer new quantum algorithms, but also build complete solutions that integrate quantum computing, high-performance computing, and AI to drive real-world impact. I'm especially pleased that the report goes beyond analysis. It moves directly into action. The recommendations on workforce development, fundamental science, and industry engagement are concrete and forward-looking. I believe that these steps create the right conditions for India to cultivate the right ecosystem to produce globally competitive quantum technology products and startups.
I am very happy to note that NITI Aayog is working closely with Telangana government to create a policy and strategy for quantum technologies. From the National Quantum Mission, we are very pleased to see states take a leadership position in different parts of quantum. And the note that has been created and the strategy that has been created looks very, very promising. We at NQM would like to support the government in any manner that you would like. And we have today 4 very successful hubs located in Bangalore, which is IISc for quantum computing. For quantum communication, we have a hub located at IIT Madras. For quantum sensing, we have a hub located at IIT Mumbai. And for materials and devices, we have a hub located at IIT Delhi. In all the 4 areas, we would like to help and support the Telangana government. We believe that one of the first areas that you may want to focus on is to make your state quantum secure. We are soon announcing a policy for making India quantum secure, as very soon you may start to see quantum computers that can crack cybersecurity anywhere. And therefore, this is something that the government may want to seriously look at doing. Research in quantum technologies is another area where Telangana can play a very important role with the education institutions, research institutions located there. And this is something that we can help you with different hubs and see how we can take the whole strategy forward which has been created by NITI Aayog. I'm very pleased to note that this will be launched on the 4th of December. And I wish you all success for making quantum technologies happen in Telangana.
We now proceed to the formal launch of the roadmap for transforming India into a leading quantum-powered economy. May I request the dignitaries on the stage, as well as from the audience, Dr. Amit Singhi, Dr. Kasturi Zahar, to join for the launch of the quantum roadmap. Thank you, dignitaries. We now proceed to the formal launch of the Telangana Quantum Strategy. Before the launch, here's a brief video that introduces, that captures the pillars that we have, which are important for the Telangana vision. The Telangana Quantum Strategy takes on what the National Quantum Strategy starts and builds on key foundational pillars, which are innovation and commercialization, skilling, workforce development, startup ecosystem enablement, sectoral adoption, cybersecurity and quantum resilience, unified by global positioning and ecosystem partnerships. Can you please play the video?
In the quantum world, every possibility exists at once, until vision collapses it into reality. That vision begins here in Telangana. The government of Telangana presents the Telangana Quantum Strategy, framework for research, skilling, innovation, and economic growth. Quantum isn't just another technology, it's the architecture of the future. The wave function of discovery anchored in the leading institutes of Telangana, which is collapsing into innovation and industry. Quantum talent in motion trained, simulated and mentored, creating India's most advanced deep tech workforce. A superposition of ideas from research and academia to industry and startup, evolving into global quantum enterprises. Applied quantum technology from BFSI to life sciences, defense to citizen services, real pilots use cases for a smarter, safer world, quantum secure cryptography, early warning systems, and hybrid architectures defending the digital state from unseen threat, evolving with the world through global summits, bilateral MOUs, biannual workshops, and strategic research alliances. An advisory council on quantum technologies will steer this evolution, aligning science, strategy, and security. Because leadership in quantum demands foresight as much as brilliance. From the quantum world emerges intelligence, AI and quantum, converging to redefine how nations think, create, and secure. In Telangana, this convergence takes form in our upcoming Deep Tech Hub, where frontier technologies will unite to power research, startups, and the economy of tomorrow. From uncertainty, Telangana forges clarity. From potential, Telangana builds the future. This is the Telangana Quantum Strategy, and this is the dawn of India's deep tech era. India's quantum and AI future built in Telangana.
The Telangana Quantum Strategy is a result of sustained effort, engagement across academia, startups, government institutions. It captures some of the insights that we have. And may I request, in addition to the dignitaries on the stage, from the audience, Sri Bhavesh Mishra, Deputy Secretary, Government of Telangana, Professor Indranil from IIIT, Ms. Reena Dayal from QETCI, and the emerging tech team to join us for the launch of the Telangana framework. We now invite one of India's most respected administrators, Shri B.V.R. Subramanian sir. Is the CEO of NITI Ayog and a 1987 batch IAS officer with a distinguished career that includes 2 tenures in the PMO office, leadership roles at the World Bank, transformative governance in Jammu and Kashmir, and major trade policy reforms as India's Commerce Secretary. He holds advanced degrees from London Business School and the World Trade Institute, Bern. Please welcome Shri B.V.R. Subramanian sir.
Respected Deputy CM Bhatti Vikramarka Garu, Minister Sridhar Babu Garu, Dr. Saraswat, Member NITI Ayog, Devjani, my friend and colleague Sanjay, distinguished people in the audience. It's an extremely happy day because we are just launched 2 reports. One is a national report which is addressing the whole country, and the second is a state report which is addressing the needs of Telangana. The first report, transforming India into a leading quantum nation, and the second is Telangana's quantum strategy. I think it cannot be a better confluence of the principle of cooperative federalism, that at the national level we draw out the national vision, and at the state level you distill it down to do something at the state level. So I think it's very, very unique, and it's a matter of great pleasure and joy. Now I'll just talk. You have heard a lot of detail about quantum. So without going into the technicalities of quantum, what I'd like to mention is we think quantum is something far away. It is for scientists, researchers, PhDs, etc. But let me tell you, it is much closer than you think. If you look behind in a rear view mirror, it is actually catching up, and it is going to become mainstream very, very soon. And I think that's the first thing. We're quickly moving from a world of bits into qubits. That's the measurement now that is going to be there. And the pace at which it is changing and advancing is astonishing. Just like AI caught a lot of people unawares, and suddenly you see, today morning I was seeing the usage figures. I mean, ChatGPT has 600 million users, etc. You will find the day not far away when quantum will be a part of day-to-day life, and it is not decades away. It is going to be counted in years. And what took decades to happen in the past is now happening in years. And I think that's the important thing to realize. And as a result of that is what was theory earlier is becoming prototypes now. What was there in labs earlier is actually coming into real world possibilities, real world use cases rapidly. And very often we ignore it, thinking this is something which is slow. But I think the pace at which it is progressing, that's something which we need to keep in mind. What we need to keep in mind is that the quantum world will be real soon, and sooner than what we think. And what does it mean? It will completely reshape the architecture. It will reshape the architecture of our security systems, of our digital security, economic security, national security. You will have to start thinking about it completely differently. It means that there will be huge opportunities but huge risks. Somebody did mention a little while ago that you need to, I think Dr. Chaudhary, who was speaking on the video, that states as a first step should start looking at possible cyber security challenges that will come out of come. But the issue is we'll also have a lot of opportunities, and I'll come to that in just 1 or 2 minutes, But the important thing is, do we want to be a leader or do we want to be a follower? The countries that will lead will set the standards, they will define the new roles, and they will take advantage of products, processes, trade, and it will all benefit the economy. And if you are a follower, which we have been in many areas in the past, it's not a question of catch up. We will actually become dependent on others because it's so fast evolving, there is no catch up. You better be a leader. And the dependency is not just going to be dependency in an economic sense, it is actually going to be a dependency in terms of security. So I think quantum is something we should pay attention to. And the question here is, it is not a question of whether we do quantum. The question is not whether we actually engage and actually master quantum, it's actually how fast we do it. So I think the question is no longer about do we have a choice. There is no choice about it. It's a question of how rapidly do we engage with it. And because quantum is sitting at the intersection of multiple fields, physics, artificial intelligence, material science, cyber, all of them are converging all around this quantum thing, and that's very, very important. The good thing is, and it's very good, and it holds good for Hyderabad, and I'll come to that in a minute, India is strongly positioned to take advantage of the quantum revolution. What are the ingredients that are needed, you know? You need a strong software talent pool. Luckily, we have that. I'm not saying that all of them are quantum ready, but we at least have a strong base to build on very, very fast. And it's undeniable that if we pay the right, attention, we can actually be the strongest as far as the talent pool is concerned. We also, luckily, have a strong base of quantum scientists, because we are still in the research area as far as many parts of this field are concerned. And we also have a strong quantum, a very strong entrepreneurial startup setup. So that's the second thing. And the third and most powerful thing which we have in India is we have first-rate digital infrastructure. So the three things are, you need good scientists, you need good software talent pool, and you need digital infrastructure. And if a particular city wants to become a leader in quantum, it also requires the three things: talent, software pool, scientists, and good digital infrastructure. And then it can become leader. And that's what the National Quantum Mission has set out to do. It is not very old, 2023, just 2 years. And we have come quite some distance. Dr. Chaudhary, who again you saw in the video, is associated with the National Quantum Mission, and it's given us a solid start. But I think we should have very ambitious goals. I think the national goal, and it comes out in a report, that by 2035, 10 years from now, India should be one of the top 3 economies in quantum. I mean, nothing less than that would do. After all, we are the 4th largest economy in the world today, soon to become the 3rd largest economy in 3 years' time. Should we also not be a top 3 quantum economy? If you look at the amount of R&D money being invested in quantum, we are still about 7 or 8. Even Australia is spending more money on quantum than us. We will have to bump it up, and I think the government is committed to bumping it up. So we should aim to be the 3rd largest economy. And it's not about gradual incremental growth. It should be an exponential leapfrog growth. You just jump and go and take the lead. So we should move from pilots to platforms. We are no longer to be at the pilot stage. Quickly move from pilot to platform, that's important. Research should be commercialized fast, so that actually there are end-use products that people can use. And last but not the least, and this is a big, big problem, what we need is not isolated efforts in little cubicles, but coordinated ecosystem-wide effort across the country, across the state, across cities. And here the role of states is very, very important. Why? Who creates the talent pool? States. Where are all the research institutions located? In states. Digital infrastructure is all localized. It's in states. So if you provide the right ecosystem, any location can become a leader in quantum. And that's why NITI Aayog chose Hyderabad as the place to release a national report. The audience of that report is not Hyderabad, it's the whole country. But I think this city has all the ingredients to become a quantum city if it wishes to. And with the right set of policies, Hyderabad can become a quantum city. What does it mean? It's not just being top 3. There is money behind it. There is a huge economy that's going to follow from there. And therefore, the Telangana quantum strategy, which has just been released, is actually the first step. It shows the determination which a committed, proactive state leadership can do if it wants to actually take. The fact that Telangana has taken cognizance of the existence of this field, come out with a quantum strategy, the next step is it should not remain in the books, it should get rolled out. And get rolled out in the field, Hyderabad can be the quantum city of India if the right efforts are made, and that's a fervent desire and that's a wish. You need to focus on research, need to focus on skilling, and you need to focus on innovation. And I think again, the basic ingredients are here. Also, the good thing with the strategy is it kind of synergizes with what the national strategy is. You see, you can't have, ants pulling a grain of rice. They all go in multiple directions. A lot of effort is wasted. If things are actually, everybody pulling in the same direction, you actually achieve more. And I think the Telangana strategy is in alignment with the national strategy, so you can actually deliver results much faster. The NITI report is actually very bold. When you say, I want to be a top 3 economy in quantum economy, it's a very bold statement. But I think it's a doable statement. It's bold, but achievable. India has a globally competitive base. India has a globally competitive, digital infrastructure. And what we have set as a goal in that report is 50% of the global software and services industry that comes out of quantum should be in India. We are early birds. If we do it, just as India rode the IT wave. What you see all around this particular place is a result of the IT wave. It began early 2000s and we built. The second wave was the GCC wave. That also, and actually Hyderabad has actually become a leader. It's gone ahead of many cities as far as GCCs are concerned. There's no doubt about it. If you look at IT, there are about 8 cities in India. But you look at GCCs, there are only 3 cities in India. So you are one of the 3 from one of the 8. So I think in quantum, if you take the right steps, this country can benefit and the city of Hyderabad can also benefit. We should also quickly move towards integrating quantum solutions in healthcare, in defense and security, in energy. It has uses everywhere. So I think the city can be positioned, the country can be positioned. And India at the national level should become a partner of the global south. I think that's one of the biggest achievements of India is what we do is applicable all over Africa, Central Asia. So what we do in India, we can actually help other countries also adopt quantum. So with this, I'd only like to end saying time does not wait for anyone. The quantum revolution is not going to wait for you. You have to go out and grab it. And I think today is the first step in going ahead and for us to make the right moves to grab this revolution. I'm sure that with the talent that is there, the infrastructure is there, and most importantly, the willpower that is there, India can be a top quantum nation, and the city of Hyderabad can be a quantum city of India. Wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for those inspiring words. We definitely look forward to Hyderabad being the quantum capital, if you will, of India. Our next speaker, we are honored to hear from one of the most celebrated scientists of India, Dr. V.K. Saraswat, member NITI Aayog, former DG of DRDO, is the architect of India's indigenous missile program, including Prithvi, Dhanush, Prahar, Agni 5 and the ballistic missiles. His contributions span cybersecurity, silicon photonics, hydrogen ecosystem, alternate energy, and national transportation frameworks. A Padma Shri, Padma Vibhushan awardee, he continues to guide India's strategic scientific direction. Please welcome Dr. Saraswat.
Namaskar. Very good afternoon. Honorable Deputy Chief Minister of Telangana, Shri Bhatti Vikramarka Mallu Garu, Dr. Sridhar Babu, the Minister for IT, my dear friend and colleague, Dr. Shri Subramaniam, another friend and colleague, Sanjay Kumar, and Ms. Debjani Ghosh, who has been pioneering the frontier technology agenda in NITI Aayog and has done a wonderful job by collating and coordinating this particular report which has been released today. Congratulations to the team which has done a wonderful work, and I have the opportunity to go through this report and I found it absolutely wholesome. It really lays down the roadmap for what India should do. And I fully endorse the views of Mr. Subramaniam that while we may be doing more, but we can do it. It is possible. Why quantum matters today? Because quantum technologies are transitioning rapidly from what used to be a theoretical construct once upon a time to engineered systems. I only can give you one simple example. Our national quantum mission is only 2-year old, not even 2 years old. But our industry, our startup companies have already started talking of 25 qubit, 50 qubit computers which are coming on front. So there is a significant amount of progress that has been taking place. World over, if you look at it, I think people have already reached more than 100. So the construct is what is important. And it is not just one domain. It is computing, it is communication, it is sensing, it is materials. And I will not underrate and leave out simulation. Globally, countries have invested huge amount of money, $10 billion, and racing towards quantum advantage. We have to also look at where do we stand with respect to this kind of an investment. Basically, this technology will determine the competitiveness across artificial intelligence, cyber security, drug discovery, even the chip design tomorrow, climate modeling, national security, and advanced manufacturing. All of them will be part of this. For India, I must say the quantum capability is vital for technological sovereignty. We cannot, as Mr. Subramanian mentioned, we have been doing catch-up. I think we have to come out of this catch-up game. We have to be in the leading position, and for that this technological sovereignty has to be achieved. We have to be strategically independent, and we should be able to achieve through this the economic security. While the report has done tremendous amount of work in terms of doing SWOT, strength, weakness and threat analysis, I fully endorse some of those views. But India has entered this era with a strong STEM talent what we have today. We have deep software engineering capabilities and a globally respected and robust digital public infrastructure. In fact, when I presented that in one of the seminars in France, I think it was appreciated the kind of India stack what we have today. It is something unmatchable. The National Quantum Mission is a good exercise which has seeded research hubs, communication pilots, materials programs and early computing experiments. One of the hub leader, madam, has already given presentation, and in fact she is doing wonderful work. The kind of work which is being done on the quantum sensors. Madam, I want to mention to you that when I was secretary DRD, not even secretary, even scientist working for developing the missiles, in those days in 2004, 2005, we were talking about atomic interferometry gyroscopes for meeting the long range requirements of the missiles and all that. At the time, nobody was talking about quantum. 2004, I don't think we had anything about it. But the physics was known, and we knew that this kind of a sensor can be developed. Very happy to know that you are doing a magnetometer today. So this is the kind of a thing that will certainly drive the agenda. Indigenous development of superconducting qubits, photonic processors and cold atom systems is progressing in the laboratories. TIFR is doing a wonderful work. Vijay Raghavan's team is developing the system. But I think we have to change our track in that. I was reading recently an article where the UK team has developed a system in which the entire quantum portion is separately put on underground and rest all is in the 19 size racks where the entire control is coming, entire detail. It looks as if you are not working on a quantum computer, you are working on a typical digital HPC or something like that. I think we'll have to look at some of these configurations which are emerging across. Our department, some of them have done wonderful work. For example, ISRO has demonstrated the satellite-based quantum key distribution which positions India among the few nations capable of secure quantum communication. ANRF has an agenda for doing high-end research in this particular area. Other initiatives are taken by MITI and DRDO, which reinforce the national effort to create a secure quantum communication backbone. These form a strong foundation. That means these are areas in which work is going on and some leadership positions are going to be achieved. Taking clue from what India's quantum vision from 2035, I think the report also covers, and many of you have talked about it. We should be able to build about 10 plus globally competitive quantum startups, and each with significant revenue and global standing. That should be one of our mission by 2035. We should be able to achieve over a 50% share of the global quantum software and the service market. Deploy quantum technologies across at least 3 major sectors, including strategic sectors like defense, health, chemicals, petroleum, and finance. We should be able to attain strong control over critical points of global quantum supply chain, making India a net exporter of quantum hardware. As somebody was talking about, we should not be only looking at the basic quantum thing. The peripherals are very important. We can actually bring peripherals at the same speed levels or equal to, or some of them, which will match very closely in terms of accuracy, speed, and size to meet the requirement of the future quantum systems. We should be a net exporter of quantum hardware and software and hold some IPs. India as a global hub for foundational breakthroughs in quantum technology is my wish. So there are technology pathways and there are sectoral impacts. I mentioned to you about quantum computing, communication, materials and sensing from technology backbone of India's strategic advancement. And what are the areas which you are looking at? One of them is national security and quantum safe encryption, quantum key distribution networks, advanced sensors and GPS independent navigation is what we are looking at. Coming from defense, I look at it as a major requirement. And in fact, in our city and next door, close to IIIT Hyderabad, there's an institution in University of Hyderabad called C.R. Rao Advanced Institute of Mathematics, Computer Science and Statistics. The team there is already working on post-quantum cybersecurity. There's a phenomenal work going on. Quietly, some few scientists are working on that. I'm sure we have to make use of them and collaborate with them. Healthcare and pharma. I heard the talk of Mr. Krishnala the other day in ASCII. At about 3 months or 4 months back, he was talking about the use of quantum simulation for drug discovery, molecular optimization, and diagnostic analysis. Manufacturing and materials is another area which should certainly be taken care of. Cryogenics, photonics, cryo-CMOS, high purity materials, superconducting devices and control electronics. Telangana, sir, I would like to remind you that we have opened Photonics Valley Corporation. I was associated in that particular exercise. I think Photonics Valley Corporation should be made a major hub for developing all the components and devices which go into the quantum. It should become one of the major sources. We have the necessary background and we have taken this step much ahead of time. I think it should be taken to that particular form. Finance, portfolio optimization, risk modeling, fraud detection and quantum secure communication. Mobility and logistics, that would be basically in terms of quantum enhanced sensors and optimization tools and secure mobility networks. That's what should be our focus. And climate and agriculture, as many of you have mentioned, that is where IIT Bombay's work will be very, very important. Quantum sensors, madam, and enabling precision agriculture using them tomorrow. That should be done. So what are the critical enablers for India's quantum push? As all of you have mentioned, we have the right talent. Tens of thousands of quantum professionals will be needed across physics, engineering, materials, artificial intelligence and computing. Interdisciplinary programs, industry, university pipelines and global fellowships must expand rapidly. I think this is another demand. We mentioned about hardware, peripherals and materials. We should develop the domestic capability in cryogenics. In fact, I was wondering, many of my startup companies today are waiting for the import of dilution refrigerator. I do not see any major reason why a dilution refrigerator cannot be designed and developed in our country with the kind of technologies we have in cryogenics and the materials we have. We can do it. It's a question of market. We should be able to take it forward. Strengthen the Indian semiconductor mission. It is vital for fabrication aligned with the quantum requirements. We need to do industry-led innovation, co-innovation labs, early adoption pilots and industry-driven R&D will accelerate this maturity. And I think some of the startups which have come in this area are already doing some very good work, but I think it's the bigger industry which has to now play a major role. There are some innovation platforms like IDEX, which has already powered the quantum startups, building sensors and secure communication tools, which illustrate the potential of our startup systems. Another area which we need to really do it, I think we should not shy away from the fact that standards are required. If we don't do the benchmarking, the trust will not be there. We have to do the standards. So India must lead in global quantum standards, security protocols, benchmarking frameworks and reliability certification. I think this is one area where globally we can even collaborate. A national benchmarking program will enhance trust and accelerate commercialization. If you really want to commercialize, you need to have standards. If quantum becomes pervasive, ethical use, cyber resilience and sustainability must be built into the design from the outset. What is the risk if we don't act? Dependence on foreign hardware and loss of strategic autonomy. We will be catching up. I think we should avoid. Rising cybersecurity vulnerabilities. All the solutions will come from outside and you will be vulnerable. Then migration of quantum talent will take, it already many of them are going, but it will happen more. So early startups to foreign ecosystems we will be feeding. Loss of India's opportunity to lead the global south in trusted quantum technologies. These are the risks. City of Telangana, city of Hyderabad in Telangana. I have an emotional attachment with this because I have spent about 45 years of my professional life in this city of Hyderabad, building missiles and many other systems later. So I certainly have a very good idea that this country is one of the best research and education hub. We have the defense labs here, we have production centers from defense, we have IITs, we have IIIT, we have universities like University of Hyderabad, JNTU, Usmania, some of the wonderful educational institutions. They all are capable of working together provided we set the goal for them. Provided we give them that Telangana is driving the agenda for quantum tomorrow. As Mr. Subramanian mentioned, we have the necessary framework. I think we have to just put it across. Platforms like T-Hub, T-Works, WeHub have built one of India's strongest innovation system. India's quantum mission will be achieved through cooperative federalism, and that is what we are doing. National direction combined with a strong state-led innovation and industry engagement. That is what we need to do. The roadmap is discussed in the report. All the 7 steps are very, very important, sir. They are very, very clear. It defines the operational architecture that will drive this mission forward. It is more than a plan. It declares that India's growth will be powered by scientific excellence, technological sovereignty, and innovation-led industry. We have to build full-stack quantum capability from hardware to software. We have to establish national test beds and validation centers, foster deeper collaboration between academia, startups, and public sector undertakings, reform procurement models to allow pilot projects and early stage adoption. In fact, I want to just mention to one startup company came, they made some simulator and they want to give it to that government agencies should take it. Unfortunately, even today, the government agencies say, we have to do the tender. If you come through, I'll be able to buy your item. Now, that's not the way quantum can be done. We have to support by early procurement of the systems which are developed by our startup companies. We have to embed ethics, security, and sustainability into the DNA of our innovation. We emphasize partnership across ministries, industries, and international allies to ensure scale, standards alignment, and shared prosperity. NITI Aayog will ensure this vision moves decisively from paper to practice. Coordinate efforts across ministries, laboratories, states, and industry. It will harmonize regulation, mission funding, and procurement models. It will catalyze private investment and international collaboration rooted in the trust and scientific integrity. It will establish monitoring, benchmarking, and evaluation framework to track national progress. With NITI Aayog's stewardship, India's quantum ambition becomes a coordinated national mission, not a collection of isolated initiatives. To conclude, I would say India now has a one-in-a-generation opportunity to shape the global quantum landscape. The time is critical. Quantum today is at the same inflection point that the internet was in the early 90s or AI a decade ago. Nations that act decisively now will define not only the technology but also the geopolitics and economic models of the future. This roadmap signals a clear intent. India will not be a participant but a nation that defines the quantum future, where innovation drives industry, science strengthens security, and knowledge elevates national pride. Together, we can transform India into a leading quantum-powered economy, and Telangana and city of Hyderabad can play a major role with the kind of political will the kind of scientific temper, the kind of talent, and the kind of infrastructure what we have, we can anchor economy in innovation secured by science and driven by national pride. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for your kind words. May I invite now a visionary leader who has played a pivotal role in shaping Telangana's tech and industry landscape. He began his journey as a lawyer in the AP High Court, but quickly turned towards politics, becoming one of India's youngest legislators of the time, carrying forward a proud legacy of leadership. As a tech-savvy leader with visionary approach, he is committed to making Hyderabad the next AI capital with focus on emerging tech. Sridhar Babu sir's journey began with strategic initiatives to position Telangana as a premier destination for global investments, and he is an influential voice in AI today in governance and in industry. Please welcome Shri Sridhar Babu sir, Honorable Minister, ITEC, Industries and Commerce and Legislative Affairs.
అందరికీ నమస్కారం. Very good afternoon to all. On the days from government, our Honorable Deputy Chief Minister Sri Batti Vikramarka garu, Member NITI Ayog Sri Dr. V.K. Saraswat, CEO NITI Ayog Sri B.V.R. Subramanian garu, Distinguished Fellow of NITI Ayog Ms. Devanshi Ghosh, along with me on the days our Special Chief Secretary Mr. Sanjay Kumar, with my leaders from the industry, and also the researchers, scientists, and the academic professors, the director IIIT and the team over here for hosting us, and friends from the media. I'm here to say, and frankly speaking, after hearing to Ms. Debjani Ghosh and Subramanian Garu and Mr. Saraswat, and also going through what Amit has given as a presentation, when Jay Gambit, Ajay Chowdhury and Ms. Shah has gave their presentations, it was absolutely insightful. For the roadmap and also telling us how to transform our economies into a leading quantum powered economies. And before I do, and before I present my government vision towards it, we take pride in two Telugu men here sitting. Sir, I also consider you as a Telugu man. Subramanian Garu is a very renowned, seasoned bureaucrat, done many roles at the national level. And we know about Saraswat ji. One shot of big award from the nation. And in fact, from NASCOM, Ms. Debjani Ghosh, we know you, ma'am, since a long time, who is a visionary leader in terms of technology. And while she was presenting on the frontier and technologies, how they can disrupt, how we can make use of these technologies. In fact, she spends most of her time relentlessly, to further the technology map before the global map and see that the India emerges on the top at the end of 2047 by using all these technologies into city. So I would like to literally mention, the young minds who are also sitting over there from IIIT and all other institutes. Those are the people what we are trying to build, they will be inheriting. So absolutely, when I go back and see, this year marks the 100th years of the quantum mechanics revolution. when the quantum mechanics revolution has taken place, we have seen too much of revolution in technology terms, in terms of industry. And we have celebrated International Year of Quantum Mechanics too. And in fact, first of all, when we are celebrating this 100th year of quantum mechanics, and when central government has just thought of putting a roadmap for transforming India into leading quantum power economy, I would like to thank central government and especially the NITI CEO for choosing a place like Hyderabad, a state of Telangana, to launch, the powered policy statement transforming India into leading powered economy. I thank the NITI Aayog for selecting Hyderabad, for posing trust and faith in our young talent in the grey matter. Over the period of 40 years, what we have built from 1992, if I do remember, when we laid the foundation stone in high-tech city, this marks a great transformation from the traditional moving of our economy. In 1992, when we had this occasion, nobody would have thought, when we are just trying to put this policy paper on the quantum, people would definitely have so many apprehensions. From 1992 till now, our Honorable Chief Minister, Mr. Revanth Reddy, keeps on telling that we always welcome the progressive policies, we try to build on it, we try to monetize on it, we try to excel in that. From 1992, even though the different political ideology governments were there, but on the top, the leadership took all the policy initiatives which were progressive to the next level. For example, if you can see from 1992 to 2004 and 2004 to 2014, when world was taking into a different leap, 2014 to 2023, and we are here back again in 2023, and we are contemplating till 2047 in Telangana rising 2047. But if you have seen, the great ecosystem which has been built over these past 3 to 4 decades, the ecosystem, what is being told by Subramanian Garu, the great ecosystem in terms of the software, the great infrastructure, the digital infrastructure which has been created over the past 3 decades, and the great spirit of entrepreneurship and the fire in belly attitude of the youngsters who wants to excel is there in the city. That's the real reason today we are launching this big initiative. Even though there are lot many cities over there, they have selected this place because of this, and we are thankful to NITI Aayog. And in fact, I have to mention here, when AI has come into picture, many would have thought, and we can't sit back and say, let it cross by. And this is a time again, चेतावनी बोलते हैं हिंदी में. No, this technology has literally come now. Try to get prepared, get up to face this technology, to get up with this technology, and literally see how way best we can excel. If you have seen in human history, there have been many discoveries and many inventions, and in modern times, if you see in the past 100 years or so, how, few people on the discovery or invention of this electricity, the printing press models or internal combustion engines, transistors or the internet, now the AI, and so henceforth the quantum. This, if you have seen the consequences, have impacted the world at large in every aspect of life. If you tell about in transportation or in health or in food or in industry, you name anything, the discoveries have literally taken us to the next level. So the contribution I would like to mention is the first 100 years of quantum mechanics have changed our way nobody could have foreseen. Our forefathers couldn't have foreseen it. Currently also, the innovation in quantum technologies, as told by the elders on the days and of the days at the early stage, whether it is sensing, whether it is computing, whether it is cryptography or the other. Nevertheless, the promise is enormous. When we consider a 300 perfect qubit system which shall create more states than the particles in the universe. So this is a scientific thing which is involved. 300 perfect qubit system can create more states than particles. In the universe, the power of computer, if you can imagine all the researchers or the professors sitting over here, you can imagine this sort of powerful system will be the mind-blogging. We can imagine, as she rightly said, we are moving from AI, agentic AI and super intelligence, artificial systems, and comes the next level which we are imagining right now, which may be the reality. When we imagine the artificial brains powering robots, individualized programs solving personal health problems at a molecular level, and designing drugs and therapies as a nutrition, and creating materials that have not existed before, which are unimaginable, which are more efficient, which are power generated, and storage technologies, if we look, that will look mostly impossible today. How far are free from this? The turning point is definitely, with my little knowledge, I can say the reliable quantum computer, that is in the thousands to the millions of the qubits. This is not far-fetched dream. Since the inflection point is the trigger, now we will be triggering that. I am promising you the both, the three people, the eminent people sitting on here, and with our Chief Minister, Mr. Revanth Reddy's vision, and with the Deputy Chief Minister over here, we will, definitely we will trigger this and move on to become the quantum leader. We have already seen a place of innovation pick up in the space in the last couple of years. And we have faith in human ingenuity and positive mindsets that can seem within our reach. If you see in this race, uncertainty is mixed with outcome. Disruption is mixed with opportunity and also with growth. We do not fear uncertainty or disruption. Telangana will lay the roadmap for this journey of the quantum technologies as we recognize opportunity and impact at the global level. Disruption definitely looks really frightening, especially at the pace today. We embrace this. We would like to take it on. We would like to take it head on. The city of Hyderabad, has shown this adapting to changes and rapidly evolving to the needs of the world. A consistency that I was mentioning that shows robustness in our systems and our leadership. Every time the world thinks it understands us, we quietly shift categories and evolve from heritage to different domestic expertise. So while I can assure you, and on these days, with the commitment and the conviction of our leadership led by our Chief Minister, and with the cabinet colleagues, from on these days, the challenge is on us. Mr. Subramanian Garu, we would like to declare this city of Hyderabad as a quantum city. And we will work, we will take a step on step, and we will try to evolve it as a quantum city. We need all your support in making this city as a quantum city. And coming back to what the other speakers were mentioning on this area, before that I proceed to, we have been taking the disruptions in a very positive way. Technology in each and every second is trying to disrupt any domain expertise of our industries. And we have imbibed it. If you have seen it, our city is a city of heritage. We always used to proclaim that, we have Charminar, and we have been built over the past many kings, or Kakatiyas, or Shalivanas, or Shatavanas. But now we have moved to become the leaders in terms of the industry. From heritage, now we are the leaders in IT, we are the leaders in pharma, and we are leaders in terms of turning technologies. Now, if I can say that in the defense and aerospace too, we are trying to prove ourselves that we become the leaders for tomorrow. You know, this year we could outpass our software exports compared to our software, and also into the pharma, our defense and aerospace exports from this state of Telangana has surpassed the exports what we do in software and pharma. We are proud to say that we are going to be the leaders in terms of the defense and aerospace too. And I always keep saying, you know, now the time has come. And Ms. Ghosh, you have to literally aid and assist us. Now we are trying to scale up from back office capability to the value added centers. Now we are trying to design ourselves from global capability centers to move on to become the global value centers. So from low cost labor arbitrage, where the leadership from different parts of the world has chosen us, keeping in view of the skill, keeping in view of the digital infrastructure, keeping in view of the spirit of our young and the grey minds which are available. Now it's a high time that we transform ourselves from GCCs to GVCs. And these are the steps what we are taking, and we are just not trying to build a facade. Beyond the facade, we are trying to bring in the system which will make the facade a reality. When we speak the language of reinvention fluently, and when the quantum technology tsunami definitely arrives, we should make ourselves ready. There is no uncertainty, but we are trying to create the momentum to face it. Today, Telangana already hosts, one of the deepest research corridors. Over 52 R&D institutions are here, as said by NITI Aayog's a member, and 30 plus universities. And countries' reputed academic institutions like IIT, IIIT, TIFR, NIT, BITS, ISB, CCMB, Osmania University, JNTU, last but not the least, my own university, the Central University. More than 380 global tech innovation centers, building advanced systems, and growing cluster of quantum research and deep tech startups, a number that look small today and inevitable tomorrow. We are building a quantum capability from ground to connect with intellectual capabilities that are already built. That is why this is the only state, this is the first state as said by Subramanian Garu. We are not launching a policy which we have launched through the hands of our CEO NITI Aayog and also the member NITI Aayog, that we are not launching a policy, sir. We are declaring a direction. Telangana would become the first state in India with a formal long-term quantum strategy, one aligned with the national quantum machine but designed to move faster, designed to really experiment earlier and deploy at a great scale. And this roadmap is built around one belief. The future will not be shaped by those who compute fastest, but by those who dare to compute differently. The strategy creates research infrastructure, innovation hubs, the quantum AI test beds, and talent pathways. It also prepares financial systems to strengthen cryptography before the quantum breaks it. It prepares life sciences to accelerate drug discovery that would take classic computing centers. It prepares public systems, defense and critical infrastructure not only to adopt quantum but to influence the global standards. And here is the truth that many don't hear clearly enough. The quantum era will not belong to those who make the hardware. It will belong to those who imagine that the humanity will do with it. That is where Telangana intends to lead, and that is where we mentioned in our policy. Not as a passive user, not as a late beneficiary. As rightly said by Subramanian Garu, do we want to be a follower or a leader? You just asked us the question. We would always, in all streams, here we are trying to prove ourselves to be a leader, and the world should follow. And we would like to love to be a leader all the time, sir. And we won't take the fruits as a late beneficiary. This is a region that helps the world decide that is scientifically possible, ethically acceptable, and economically transformative. To the students here, the young brains over here, if AI taught how the world learns you to machines, how the world machines learn, then quantum will teach us how to solve what we once believed unsolvable. Your future job description do not exist because your generation will write them. To the researchers who are all here, the equations you are working on today may someday define the global standards. The equations what you write today will secure nations. The equations you are working today will power discoveries humanity can't comprehend. And to all the industry leaders who are here, that once in a century movement will come. What matters a lot, when being early matters more than being perfect. As we built a digital driven economy, we would also build quantum economy for the state of Telangana. That is also a broad and enlightening vision of Telangana Rising 2047, where we are presenting our vision document by our Chief Minister, Mr. Revanth Reddy, on December 8th and 9th, and through a solid philosophy that the nation that lead in quantum won't just compete, they dominate the future of security, innovation, and prosperity. And in fact, I would like to respond to a few things what the eminent people who have told about what the Telangana should do. When they've been mentioning about our presence in very strong ecosystem in terms of the IT or the software or the AI, which we are trying to build a robust AI system. When Ajay Chaudhary was mentioning about the quantum secure, we are already working on it. We would like to take the cues from his suggestions. And also to lay the stress on research, we are working out with all the premier institutions, how should we move forward. And in terms of Subramanian's observation, where he already mentioned why he chose Hyderabad as one of the key areas where the quantum can be led and where we can produce the quantum scientist, where the digital infrastructure should be built still more robust to encompass, embrace and integrate quantum into the systems. And when he mentioned about, this point of me mentioning about GCCs to make as GVCs is what you mentioned, from pilot to platform is the main idea and the main theme of our agenda. We will try to build on it. And, few other things what I would like to mention. When AI has come into picture, now the quantum is trying to surpass it. We would like to, because recently the Chief Minister, Mr. Revanth Reddy, has also declared, by March, we are going to start, fund of funds for the startups and for the innovation. And this fund of funds will be the first ever initiative by our Telangana government. And this will try to infuse lots of energy and spirit in the young entrepreneurs, not only in the traditional software, but also in terms of AI, in terms of the quantum too. So this fund of funds, we would like to really put it across. The industry leaders are also here. They will be the part and parcel of this fund of funds. And from this next financial year, because the finance minister is also here, and from the next financial year, we are trying to come up with a fund of funds. When it comes to industry, we are going to declare, because it may be from different verticals of the industry, to keep our ministry, our department within the reach of each and every industry partners who are contributing to our economy. We are just putting it across. Every week we will have an industry day, once a week with Honorable Secretary, Principal Secretary, or right now the Special Chief Secretary. One day in a week interaction with industry partners, one day in a week, once in a month, I as an industry minister would like to share their views and suggestions and try to address their issues once a month. This is our initiative from the industry sector, and we would like to move on from it. And coming down to the leaders who are here from the NITI Aayog, Hyderabad as such is the key driver in terms of contributing much to the per capita income of this country and to the GDP income of the country. That's the real reason we just thought maybe it's a Herculean and mountainous task for us to build a 1 trillion economy by 2034 or 3 trillion economy by 2047. The Chief Minister, with this grand vision, has envisaged this vision, and to all the elders over here, I would like to mention, with the great participation of NITI Aayog under the leadership of the chairman and the CEO and the members, and also from the contribution from ISB and the suggestions from the industry leaders, we are trying to create a document, a vision document, Telangana Rising 2047, which shall be unveiled by our Honorable Chief Minister on December 8th and 9th, which shall be the vision of this state to see that the economy galvanizes to the next level. And, when it has to galvanize, I have to, my job and my role in terms of taking the nuances of the technology into consideration, try to embrace them and try to kick start and try to convert these technologies as a major growth engines for our state economy. So let me end with this. When history looks back, we will not remember today that Telangana launched this strategy. So I would like to mention here, this day over here will remembered as the day Telangana accepted its role in shaping a quantum era. Because Hyderabad has never been a city that waits for the future. Hyderabad is a city that's built it. Thank you, and thank you everybody for joining us. Thank you everybody.
Thank you, sir, for those inspiring words. I now have the privilege of inviting another visionary leader, our Honorable Deputy CM Garu Batti Vikramarka Mallu, sir. He serves as the Deputy Chief Minister for Telangana and holds key portfolios including finance, planning and energy. As Energy Minister, he is expanding Telangana's power capacity and has prioritized renewables to future-proof the state's energy security. Under his leadership, Telangana is pursuing a forward-looking developmental blueprint called Telangana Rising 2047. As the Finance Minister for Telangana, he has been instrumental in the vision of Telangana Rising to propel the state's economy into a $3 trillion economy. Please welcome our Honorable Deputy CM Garu.
Honorable Minister, Industry, IT and Legislative Affairs, Sri Duddila Sridhar Babu Garu, Sri BVR Subramaniam ji, CEO NITI Aayog, Dr. VK Saraswat ji, Ms. Devan Devjani Ghosh ji, and Sanjay Kumar, Special Chief Secretary, IT and Industries, and heads of IIIT Hyderabad, particularly Director, and other industry leaders, and the students of IIIT, media friends, very good afternoon to all of you.
I really welcome you all to Hyderabad for this important occasion on the launch of the NITI Aayog Quantum Roadmap and also Telangana Quantum Strategy. It's a great privilege and honor for me to stand in front of many intellectuals and the strategy policy makers for the country and various states also. Today, in fact, it is a great day for as far as the state is concerned. When the whole world is talking about the quantum and quantum economy, India's quantum strategy is being released from this city of Hyderabad, the capital of Telangana. That shows the confidence and trust of the country on the state of Telangana and Hyderabad. And we really, once again, though the minister already expressed his gratitude, and also I am once again thanking the entire NITI Aayog team for choosing the Hyderabad and releasing your strategy quantum roadmap. Of course, as you have been believing, we strongly believe that Hyderabad can lead the quantum economy tomorrow because it has all and everything possible to make quantum economy a reality into the picture. Like a beautiful infrastructure, talent pool, digital, what our chairman, CEO NITI Aayog has been saying that digital talent pool which is readily available in Hyderabad. Me and my friend Sridhar Babuji comes from Hyderabad Central University. People when started speaking about AI, I still remember way back in 1980s, late 80s. In Hyderabad Central University, the center being called, center called AI, been opened and started, and one Mr. Reddy was heading the center and teaching the students that AI is going to lead the world tomorrow. That shows how ahead this Hyderabad and the universities. And today everyone is talking about the AI. But Hyderabad Central University started way back in 80s, the center. And in fact, my chief minister also is very fond of the technology. Apart from core industry that he believes the Telangana economy can be taken to the heights through technology. In fact, he is supposed to attend this program as chief guest. But because of various pressing, unavoidable activities and the programs which we are designing for our state vision document to be released on December 8th and 9th, he has particularly asked me to attend this program and asked me to convey his greetings to all the participants of this AI, the NITI Aayog Quantum Roadmap. Friends, I will also talk about a few things, though this is the main function of the NITI Aayog Quantum Roadmap, but also I would like to speak something about our own state also, Telangana here. Telangana quantum strategy today, quantum technology is changing the world more rapidly than any other technology. Quantum will change the world in every way. Any country that wants a great future must have a quantum strategy. That's what Telangana state believes today. It will decide in a big way the future of countries, their national security, their economic size and growth. While, Debjani Ghosh was speaking and giving her presentation, the risk of future in various fields, of course, we also, fully agree with Ms. Debjani Ghosh, what all that she is trying to tell the states and the country. It will decide in a big way the future of countries, their national security, their economic size and growth also. Telangana quantum strategy aligned with national mission aims for a unified and future ready roadmap for research, skills development, education, infrastructure and cyber security. It is aligned to Telangana Rising 2047. Friends, you all aware, the state of Telangana is celebrating 2 years completion of our government formation on 8th and 9th. On 9th, we are coming out with our vision document 2047, wherein we are showing how we are going to plan for the state future growth, how we are going to lay the foundations for various sectors to reach our dream of taking the state into $3 trillion economy by 2047. And also, while participating in this, I also request all the leaders of the industry, particularly NITI Aayog CEO and the members of NITI Aayog, please do take part in this vision document on 9th, our global summit function. With launch of our TQS, we are announcing to the world our state's commitment to building India's most advanced quantum innovation ecosystem. We will unveil not only strategy but also the implementation roadmap. We are going to encourage strong and deep industry academia partnerships also. Quantum will be a key building block for the economic growth of Telangana and India. It will help in attracting and retaining global investments in all sectors. It is crucial for our research and innovation initiatives. Quantum is crucial for our goals for startups. Today I must emphasize we are creating a Young India Startup Fund. As our friend already announced, saying that fund, right, that's nearing about 1,000 crore to support startups. Quantum startups will be our focus future. Telangana quantum strategy will position my state as India's first state with a dedicated roadmap for quantum tech. We will try to become role model for other states on how to build a complete quantum value chain, from research in labs to business applications in the market. Quantum is not just for business or economic reasons, but also key for capabilities in computing, communications, and cyber security. Technology will combine scientific depth, policy and vision, and vibrant execution ecosystem, which treats academia, startups, industry, and government as partners. Let us all celebrate this great day as we are taking a quantum leap as a country. And I also thank once again all the industry leaders and all the scientists, academicians who all have given the presentation on the quantum technology, and more so particularly CEO NITI Aayog and his team members, all the way coming from Delhi to Hyderabad and releasing this quantum strategy that shows Hyderabad is going to lead in this country and to the world also. I thank you once again, and we'll assure you from the government side, on behalf of the entire cabinet and our Chief Minister, Sri Revanth Reddy garu, that we will definitely keep up and our promises what all that we are making. And we'll see to that all your dreams makes into reality. This is our goal, and we're going to achieve that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your vision. To conclude this landmark event, we request our Deputy CM Garu to present a memento and felicitate Saraswat sir. Please. Sir, from the Telangana side. We request our Honorable IT Minister Garu to also felicitate Media Subramanian. Please, yeah. We request a memento for the agenda as well. Sir. We also thank Triple IT Director Sandeep Shukla sir to please come on stage. All these mementos have been created, designed by T-Works, one of our entities are 3D models. Thank you, Joginder and team, for this. So on behalf of Government of Telangana, thank you everybody for staying so late. Special thanks to Triple IT, all the delegates that have been coming here. This is a landmark event, and this work is going to be the backbone of India's quantum ecosystem. Thank you everybody, and look forward to staying here. And additionally, we have those QR codes which are the quantum reports that can be downloaded. Please join us for lunch as well. Thank you. Lunch is behind back door, sir. You just take the back door behind. Left side.